Welcome to episode 7 of Mocking a Mockingbird. I can't really show you, the guitar and say I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this, because I already did everything. I didn't do an intro video, though. So, we have a really good show for you tonight. Tonight we have a special guest I'd like to introduce. We don't have a special guest, but what we do have is we have a Mockingbird. And we're gonna make some cuts on it. So let's check it out. Really shines up well on the lathe. This is still no finish. It's just sanding. It's up to 2,000. Pretty kick-ass knobs I'm gonna have on this thing. All made of cutoffs. That's part of the neck. That is part of the material I used for the fret markers. Cool. So I'm going to prep this piece. This is going to be the control cavity cover. I got it thicker than it needs to be right now. I'm going to take the hand plane, get it flat. I'm going to hope to taper a little bit this way and then a little bit from one side to the other. Glue a thin piece of Padauk and then get it flat and parallel to the opposite side. And I'll stop once I have the right amount of Padauk on the top. So I'm trying to mimic the fretboard here. Once it looks good here, then I'll flip it over, machine that side to the proper thickness where the look doesn't change on the side that you can see. So that's the plan, to bring that. I mean, the fretboard looks really good, so that'll just bring some of that design aspect into the back. And then there's going to be one more cover that's really small for the switch. It's an oval that's just going to be like this big. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do the same thing there or just go with wenge so it blends into the back. So see what happens there. And after that, I'm going to start cutting the recesses for the control cavity. Well, the switch is already done, but the control cavity, I'll do that. And then I think everything on the back of the body will be done. So the flip, go to the front. There's a couple things on the front that couldn't be done until the back was done with the machine. And there's some cool stuff. So, see how far we get this weekend. Got a party tomorrow, so I won't get much done tomorrow. And if you guys noticed the hat in some of the videos I was wearing, but it just was my birthday. Thank you. And yeah, let's do it. So I started getting this flat and purposely crooked a little bit. So I got my measurements. I've got 280, 309, 350, and 332. So from here to here, I'm coming down by like 18 thousandths. From here, I'm coming down this way by 19. This way, I'm going down that way by 52. And this one I'm going down by 41. So this being the thickest, this being the thinnest, and it's tapering this way and that way. Once I put the Padauk on, get it flat, you'll have the most of it here, the least of it here, and it'll hopefully look just as cool as the fretboard. So see what happens.
Hell, I see you drown. Who's to blame? Will it ever change? Who's to blame? Are we the same? Gravity, oh, gravity, I know. Gravity, oh, gravity.
guess it's time to wrap this one up. So since last week, on the front, I didn't really do much. I played around a little bit, which I don't even think I got any footage of tinting the grain filler with this metallic mica powder. It's called copper metal. So this adds a little bit of a copper, you know, into there from certain angles. I don't know how the camera's gonna work, but certain angles, you can totally see it in there. Certain angles, not at all. So I think that's pretty cool. So I think once I'm ready to actually fill it, I'm gonna sand through and it's gonna need it later. But I just want to see what it would look like. So I did that early on. Most of it would come out if I didn't like it, but I do like it. The other thing I did was laid out where the bridge is gonna go exactly. And I had to figure out where I'm breaking through for the strings. So I couldn't really get me figuring that layout on video because I had to reference pictures that were on my phone, and I'm using my phone to do the video. So, well, I couldn't not reference the pictures, so I needed my phone for that. So anyway, everything happened on the back. Oh, I want to show on the cover. I want to replicate basically what I did on the neck, but this time I meant to do it because I had something to match. So I just took my hand plane, angled the blade a little bit, made sure that the board had a little bit of a taper in one direction, but then also a taper in the long direction before I added the Badook to the top. And then basically sanded through. It had a little bit of a curve to it and everything when I did that, but it was thin enough that it was practically paper. So it would clamp on well, then sanded it until I liked how it looked. And it was flat, then I could flip it over and surface this side. So I just want to show that first. That is, you know, there's no finish on here, so the color's different. But that's how I picked that. So on the back, I got the belly carve in. As of now, I've got a pencil line in there. Approximately, once it gets cut out, that's where it's going to get cut out. I finalized my cavity here. It wasn't big enough. I should bring this closer. So, like I was saying last week, I had to extend this to make it work. You know, I just kept this as a straight line here. I just put a little kink in there. Got it flat in the back so I can mount it this way. So batteries are still its own compartment. It can't move, so they won't rattle around. The string cavity actually goes, or not the string, the wire channel will go under this, so the wires make it through. So I just went as deep as I needed to go. So that made enough room for in here. Set up for magnets. So as I was making this, I just decided the spot, like, throw the logo in. Why not? Is it necessary? No, it's on the inside, but, you know, a little extra thing. Still a little bit tight. I'm gonna have to, you know, get that right. It's got to move, especially in Chicago. Seasons are quite different around here, so got to leave some room. That's way too tight. I got this here is where the ferrules are going to mount. So the strings will end there. So that was, I was saying about the layout. Once I figured exactly where that is, where the bridge is, I had to draw up a little picture to figure out the angle and the distance between the two where it goes through the body. I can't really show you this right now, something fell. Obviously I can't show you that right now because it's closed up, but you all saw how it was and know the idea with the strings going through. So I still got to figure out exactly how I'm going to do that, but I got a measurement of where I can just cut a hole through, and then from there I can get some strings in place and see what has to be done first to make it fit, and then after that let my eyes take over and just make it look cool. You know, I'm going to do it. So, a couple things I noticed along the way that I'm gonna have to do on the next episode. Where the wires go through, right now they have to be going through right where the screws are gonna be. So I'm gonna have to deepen these up and maybe make a couple things, modify that so the pickups are mountable or, you know, without going through a wire. It wouldn't really be good. So I'm gonna have to do that, figure this out on the next one, and yeah, I think that about covers what I did. I had right where this goes, where the board is, it's about exactly flush when it's in there, but I wanted the room for the wires, so I just put that little relief cut, and that'll actually line up right where it has to be, and it gives it 50 thousandths more, I think it was, in the center. So, just a little insurance thing right there, and that looks like about all we could talk about here for today. I'm ready to get back on the next one. So this is episode 7, Mocking a Mockingbird, episode 7. Beep.
Forgot about the knobs. Forgot to talk about the knobs. Well, it's got set screws for it today. So I can throw that thing out, put it through some sand. Then I can cut it off. Do the second. Okay, I got it. Okay, that's it.